Hi guys, it's me Terry of the Yarnjoy podcast. Welcome to the first installment of the Fall Graph Gan-Along. In this video, we're going to be working on the first square, which is the pumpkin square. Okay, so to do this pumpkin square, it is done corner to corner, and we're going to be following this graph. And the colors that I chose for this graph, as you see, there's three colors: the background, the pumpkin color, and the stem color. And for my square, I chose the colors from Red Heart Super Saver. It's this green, which is called Tea Leaf, okay? And these are all worsted weight yarns. I also chose this unknown orange yarn that I've had forever that I'm trying to work my way through in my stash. And then I'm also, for the stem, I've decided to use Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Cafe Latte. Okay? Now, these bobbins that I'm using look like this, and what they are jumbo clothespins. I believe that's what they're called, and I bought them at Dollar Tree. There was a 6-pack for a dollar. But you don't have to use those. You can just have your yarn rolled up in a ball. That's fine. Okay. So as you can see, for the brown, we're not going to need that much for the stem. And then I have two of these bobbins rolled up with the green, and then I have one big one with my orange. Okay. So to start our graph, we're going to start, so you're going to need your graph, you're going to need a pencil, scissors, and for this project I'm going to be using an F hook, which is a 3.75 millimeter hook. Okay, so starting with my green, we're going to look at our graph here, and we're going to start here in the corner. It is a corner to corner, so this graph I will be following this graph in a serpentine manner, okay? So for our first square, it'll be this one right there, that corner, okay? So start with a slip knot, okay? Move this a little bit out of the way so you can see my stitching on top of the black here. Okay, now I'm going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and in the fourth chain of the hook, fourth chain from the hook, I'm going to double crochet. And then I'm going to double crochet again in the next chain. And then I double crochet again in the last chain. Okay, so there's our first square, and this symbolizes, right? I don't know. It stands for this square right there. So I mark through it. Okay, I've done it. Okay, that's why you need the pencil, because I like to mark my way through the graph as I'm working on the project. Okay, so the next one, if I'm starting from here and I'm going down, so the next one is going to be going from the bottom up to the top diagonally. Okay, so sometimes I put a little arrow there to show which direction I'm going. Okay, and so for this row I need 2. 1, 2, and we're still working in the green. Okay, so we're going to chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to double crochet in the fourth chain from the hook, and then double crochet again in the next chain, and then double crochet again. Okay, so there's my block. Pull this up here, and I connect it to this block through the hole that is formed from the chain up 3 and between the chain up 3 and the double crochet. Slip stitch. Okay, so I did one of that row. I need to do one more. So chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet into that same space there 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so see, I have 2 blocks. So then I'm going to mark off those 2 that I did. 1, 2. So the next one, I'm going to be coming that direction. So you're going serpentine, okay? And now don't see how mine is facing this way and the chart is not. It's because you're always turning back and forth. You know, you're working on one side and then you got to turn, you got to work on the other side for the next row. So don't really compare that much what it's looking like to your graph, because it may be going the opposite direction until you turn it over and then it looks like your graph. So just trust your rows and how many that you need to do, okay? So now I'm now going to be doing the 3rd row, which now I need 3. There's 3 green squares in that row. So chain up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. And then double crochet again in the next chain. And then double crochet again in the next chain, and we formed our block, okay? We're going to pull this up, or flip this up, and connect it to this square here by putting our hook between the chain up 3 and the double crochet of that block with a slip stitch. Okay, so we've made our first one. So we got to make 2 more of that row. So 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets around that same loop, and 3. Okay, now we're going to connect it to the top step, because, you know, I like to call them steps because they look like steps to me. So anyway, slip stitch into that, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now if we look at our chart here, we've done 3. So 1, 2, 3. See that? Okay, so now we're going to turn and come back up the other direction. Okay, going to go that way. So now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're still working with just green. Okay, so let's chain up 6, and we're going to start the next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, and then double crochet the 2nd one in the next chain, and then the 3rd one into the next chain. Okay, flip your work up, and then you're going to connect it in with a slip stitch into, because see how it's not connected, so we got to connect it to this step. Okay, so slip stitch into that hole there, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Whoop, lost my hook. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, slip stitch. You know, you got to connect it, so slip stitch into this hole right here that's formed by that chain 3 and the double crochet. See, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets, and that'll make your next square. 1, 2, 3. Oop. Okay, I need some more yarn here. Okay. Okay, so now we have 3. We have 1, 2, 3. Remember, this row's got 4 of them, so we need to connect it to this square by doing a slip stitch, chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets, and that'll make our last square of that row. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we look at our chart here, and that means we've done row 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now we're ended up on the top here, so now we're going to turn and we're going to go back down. Okay, so but look at this one. Now we're going to have to add into we're going to have to add in color here, another color, the orange. So if we look ahead for this row, we see that we're going to do 1 green one, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I do like put a dot as I'm counting them, and then when I complete them, I mark through them. Okay, so I have 1 green one where I'm going to do attach and do 3 orange ones, and then I have another green one there to finish it off with for a total of 5. Okay, so the first one is green, so I'm going to continue on with the green for one more square. So go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, and then 1, 2, 3, following down on that following along on the chain there. Okay, and then flip the work up. Now, okay, so the next one, see what we did this one right there. Okay, so the next one needs to be orange. So what we're going to do is I'm going to drop this. Okay, now that's why I have 2 bobbins of green made up already, because as you see now, until we start decreasing again, we're going to have 2 sections that have greens, and then with this orange in the middle. So I like to have a bobbin for each end, so I don't have to keep cutting and transferring my yarn back and forth. You can do that, but then you'll have a lot of tails to have to weave in. So I'm going to pull this over to the side, this bobbin, okay, and then I'm going to get my orange, okay, and I'm going to start that. And the way we're going to connect it, I'll leave a tail here because that'll to weave in later. Okay, now ordinarily the way we would connect it is we insert our hook into this hole there that's made by the chain 3, between the chain 3 and that first double crochet. Okay, so we do it the same way. Okay, now instead of slip stitching with the green like we did before to connect it, I'm going to slip stitch with the orange. Okay, so I hook it onto my hook, and I like to hold it in the back here. See, hold it with my fingers back there to keep it steady. Okay, and then, or keep it secure. I pull that loop through there, and then I pull it through the loop that we were just working on with the green. Okay, and then I take the green, I kind of pinch it right there. I take the green and I pull it just a little bit to kind of snug it up. Okay, and now I continue on with my orange. So champ 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets into that loop, and well, as I'm doing it, I am working over that starting tail of the orange. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, now on our graph you see that we have 3 orange blocks that we need to do. Okay, so I connect it to the next one, the next step up, just like I've been doing it. So with the slip stitch. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oop, I need more yarn. My little bobbin is traveling around. Okay, 3 double crochets into that loop, just like regular. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I connect it to this one. See, I've done 2, now I need to do one more orange one, so slip stitch, and then champ 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets there, 1, 2, 3. Okay, okay, so now we're going to look at our chart again, and our chart, we did this orange, this one, and this one. So I marked through it, okay? And see, as you see now, we have one more that we need to do for this row, but it needs to be green. So now I'm going to let go of my orange, move it over to the side, and then I'm going to take my next ball of green, and now I'm going to do exactly what I did when I connected the orange. I'm going to insert my hook where I need to connect it with the slip stitch, okay? But instead of pulling up, slip stitching with the orange, I'm going to add my green, okay? So I do the same thing. I hook it around my hook. I like to kind of pinch it back here with my other fingers to hold it steady, okay? And then I pull the yarn through, and then through that loop for slip stitch, okay? So I still hold on to the tail, the beginning tail. I kind of pinch right there, and then I take my orange that I was using, and I just kind of give it a little tug there to snug it up, and then I chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I complete my square just like regular, okay? But when I'm going to be working over this straggler here, okay? So 3 double crochets to complete my square. 1, 2, 3. Now if I'm going too fast on this corner to corner tutorial, please refer back to my tutorial that I did where I made the square, my first corner to corner stitch tutorial, and I go into more detail on that tutorial, or slower, on how to do this. I'm assuming that you either know how to do the corner to corner stitch, or you have watched my earlier tutorial and learned how to do it, okay? It's good to go ahead and get that stitch down where you understand how to make it before you start doing graph gowns. Then it's easy because you have the basic corner to corner stitch mastered, so now you're just adding to your skills by following a graph. Okay, so now we have finished with that row, okay? And that was row 6. So each row, like row 6, has 6 squares in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, it does not. That was row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to be starting row 6. And this is going to have 6. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So we ended here. So that means we're going to turn the corner up and go back up the next row going this way. Okay, so we just go back and forth like that all the way across. Okay, so now on this row we need a green, and then we need 1, 2, 3, 4 oranges this time, and then another green. Okay, so we need a green, so let's go ahead and chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, go ahead and make our block. So yarn over, insert the hook, 4th chain from the hook, do our double crochet, and then the next double crochet will go into the next chain there, and then the next double crochet will go into the last chain to make our block. Okay, so now, as you know, that was the first block there. Now, as you know, after we do this first block, we need to flip our work up, okay? So now, what you need to do is go ahead and just kind of shift your bobbins around. It's not too bad right now because we are only working with the 3 colors, okay? So, we're going to turn our work, and we're going to go ahead and move our bobbins around to kind of keep them untangled. Now when the piece gets bigger, not necessarily with this one maybe, but it really doesn't matter that much with this one, but when you're working with more colors, I can show you an easier way to turn all these. Okay, so now we've got our work turned around where we need to. So now we're going to connect it, but as you see, we only need to do 1 green one. Now we need to go ahead and change to the orange. So I go ahead and let that down. I take my orange strand here, okay, and then I do a slip stitch just like I did to connect this step, but I'm going to pull up the orange from my slip stitch and go through that loop right there. I hold on to the base of it a little bit. I take my green and just give it a little tug to snug it up, and then I continue with the orange. So chain up 3 and then 3 double crochets. Okay, connect that one with a slip stitch. Now we're going to go up because see, we have to make 1, 2, 3, 4 oranges now. So 1, 2, 3 double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and speed up a little bit since I know you've got the hang of what we're doing here, I hope. If not, you can rewind and look at it, or like I said, refer back to that original corner to corner stitch tutorial that I made. Okay, so I'm making my 3rd orange block here. 2 and 3, okay, and then I need to make the 4th orange block, so connect it and then make my block. So jump 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, I've got too many loops there. Okay, 3. Okay, now I got to connect it to this one, but we are finished with the orange one, the orange square. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we got to make the last green one here. So I'll let that one go. And now look, see, my green one is connected down here at the bottom, but it's no problem because this is a green one that's going to be laying up against, okay? And so you won't see it running up between those two blocks because one of them is the same color. Now, go ahead and remove your hook from there. I mean, keep it on here, but don't put it in there, because what we need to do is we need to pick up this yarn and pull it up so it's running up alongside this square right there, okay? See that? And then we do that, and then we put our hook through from the front to the back, and then grab a hold of that yarn, pull it through with our slip stitch, okay? And see, it was running up alongside that square, but you can't even see it because it's the same color as this one, okay? Take our orange yarn, just give it a little tug to secure it, and then continue with your square. So 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets, and that'll finish your square from there. Okay, so that was row 6. Okay, I'll do one more row with you, and then I'll let you do some rows on your own. So now, that's for row 7. As you see, we turn the corner and come back down this direction. So we need one green one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange ones now, and then one green one, okay? So, champ 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then yarn over, 4th chain from the hook, we put our double crochet. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're gonna need to remember we need to flip our work up like that to connect it. So now I'm gonna move my bobbins over just a little bit. This one and this one's got to go under here to keep them separate, okay? And now we did our first green one. Now we need to do 5 orange ones. So we let that green one drop behind. We insert our hook to connect it, but we pick up our orange yarn and do our slip stitch. And then remember, because otherwise you have this big loop right there and you'll have a big hole between, so just kind of pinch your work here, take that green one last time and snug it up, okay, to get it tighter. And then go ahead and champ 3 and make your squares. So champ 3, 3 double crochets. So now we need to make 5 of these orange ones before we go back to the green one again. Okay, so there's 1. Now I'll kind of pull some more yarn out. I'll kind of speed this up a little bit to get up to the top. So there's a second square. Third square. Fourth square. And 5th square. 2 and 3. Okay, now we're going to connect it to here, but we need to have the a green one, because we did on our chart, we did, let's see, we're going down this way, we did our first green, and then we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then now we got to do another green to finish that row. So remember, when we're going to connect it, it's down, it's coming out from down here. So we want to, before we stick our hook in there, we want to pull this yarn up, hold it up there, and then we put our hook in, and then we grab it from the back here and grab the green yarn and pull it through with a slip stitch. Okay, take our orange one, just give it a little tug to snug it up, and then make our little square. So chain 3 and 3 double crochets. Okay, so we just finished row 7. Okay, now as you see, as we're coming up, we're going right toward the number 8. So that means we're on row 8, okay? So we're going to be here, we're going to turn the corner and go this direction, and then we're going to go up here, we're going to have one green one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orange ones, and then the 7th one, and then we'll, I mean the 7th one, no, 6 oranges, and then 1 green one, okay? And then we turn the corner and we go down this direction, just like we've been doing, okay? Now keep doing that until you get ready, you get up to row, let's see, let's get up to row 11, okay? So finish up to, and when I'll meet you back here. I'll meet you back here when we are going to start when we're going to start row 12, okay? Right there, okay? So keep going until you get to row 12, and then we will continue on together.